what if humans could breathe underwater? No heavy oxygen tanks, no need to rise to the surface. We could swim for hours, just like the fish. The oceans cover more than 70% of Earth's surface, yet over 95% of them remain unexplored. But what if one day, this enormous space became humanity's second home? How much would our world change? Join Suppose World on a fascinating adventure where impossible what-ifs open the door to an entirely new vision of the future. In this video, we'll travel through the milestones of tomorrow to imagine a world where humans are not only creatures of the land, but also citizens of the deep blue ocean. First, to understand why humans can't breathe underwater like fish, let's look at some simple numbers. 1 liter of air contains about 210 milliliters of oxygen, but 1 liter of water holds only 5 to 10 milliliters. That's a massive difference. At rest, the human body needs around 250 milliliters of oxygen every minute, which means we'd have to filter 25 to 50 liters of water per minute. Nearly impossible. When swimming hard, the demand rises to 1 to 3 liters of oxygen every minute. That's 100 to 600 liters of water in just 60 seconds. Fish can do this because they have gills, with enormous surface area and a one-way flow of water. But human lungs were never designed for that. And even with a normal body, most people can only hold their breath for about 1 to 2 minutes underwater. Trained divers may reach 10 minutes, but eventually, without oxygen, the body shuts down. Now imagine, it's the year 2100. Humanity has created a small, sleek device, a mask that allows us to breathe underwater, just like a fish. No heavy oxygen tanks, no need to surface for air, and from that moment on, a whole new world opens before us. The ocean, once so distant, now opens its doors, and humanity takes its very first steps to become citizens of the sea. The year 2150. After half a century, we don't just breathe underwater. We begin building the very first cities beneath the waves, choosing shallow waters to avoid crushing pressure and the harsh extremes of temperature. Massive glass domes rise from the sandy floor. Inside, glowing lights shine like stars in the deep. Around them, coral and kelp forests grow alongside tall towers. Schools of brilliant fish drift through the streets. Tiny personal submarines carry people around, just like cars today. Children can watch dolphins and sea turtles right outside their classroom windows. The ocean slowly becomes our second home. A new civilization begins to rise, side by side with the world above. But every dream comes with a price. Life beneath the sea is not only glowing lights and shimmering schools of fish, it is also a place filled with challenges, unlike anything humanity has ever faced. Water pressure grows more crushing the deeper we go. One small mistake, a single crack in the dome, could send an entire city into ruin. Every journey outside still requires layers of protection, because the ocean, no matter how beautiful, has never truly been gentle. Sunlight only reaches the shallow waters. Deeper down, darkness rules forever. To keep life alive, we build vast systems of artificial light. Millions of lamps burning in the deep, like a man-made sky. And then comes the question of food. On land, we plant seeds and harvest crops. Underwater, we try coral farms, kelp forests, and massive fisheries, but no one knows. they can truly feed the millions of people who call the sea their home. And above all, there is isolation. The ocean seems endless, a vast freedom without borders. Yet to humans, each dome feels like a colossal cage, a sealed-off world, where we are both masters and prisoners of the deep. And yet, if pressure, darkness, and isolation are already harsh enough, then the forces of nature in the ocean bring even greater dangers. On land, we know storms, hurricanes, and typhoons, but beneath the waves, nature's power is far more terrifying. Tropical storms whip across the surface, creating violent undercurrents, strong enough to tear apart structures on the ocean floor. Undersea quakes can unleash massive tsunamis, shaking entire cities to their core, and sudden shifts in freezing currents can drag humans into the black void, where life itself can barely survive. And that is only the beginning. The ocean is not just water, it is a vast ecosystem, a kingdom of creatures that have ruled here for millions of years. When humans arrive, it means stepping into their domain. Coral reefs are altered. Kelp forests cut down to make space for construction. Fish are driven away, replaced by glowing domes and city lights. Sharks, whales, even colossal beings still unknown to science begin to circle human settlements. Silent observers in the dark. Peaceful coexistence or inevitable conflict? That is the question humanity must answer if we truly wish to call the ocean our home. Humans are a species built to adapt, and beneath the ocean, that instinct is tested once again. From the sealed domes, slowly, a new society begins to rise. Meals, no longer centered on wheat or red meat, but on seaweed, kelp, and fish raised in vast underwater farms. Over time, people learn to savor the flavors of the sea and turn them into an entirely new cuisine. Art transforms as well. Paintings are no longer hung on the flat walls, but spread across the glass domes. When the blue light of the ocean filters through, the colors shift and shimmer, as if the artwork itself is breathing with the tides. Music echoes, not only from instruments, but from water pipes and resonant chambers. A haunting soundscape, born only in the deep. Schools, hospitals, arenas, all take shape. Children grow up with dolphins swimming past their classroom windows. The elderly exercise in giant tanks that mimic the natural flow of currents, and new sports emerge, like three-dimensional water ball, the national game of ocean dwellers, and then a new identity appears: sea citizens. A generation is born who have never set foot on land, never felt the wind against their skin. For them, the ocean is everything. Their way of life, their language, their very sense of self drifts further and further from the world above. A new culture is being woven here, from waves, light, and shadow, living side by side with humanity on land, but carrying a spirit entirely their own. And yet, human curiosity has never been content with the first domes. If we can live in shallow waters, what could stop us from pushing deeper into the endless dark? Technology becomes the key. Breathing masks shrink smaller, more refined, until they evolve into implants within the body itself. Some begin experimenting with genetic edits. Lungs reshaped to draw oxygen straight from seawater. Others dream of eyes that can pierce eternal darkness, or skin that can endure the freezing cold of the abyss. Gigantic robots rise from the depths. Steel arms stretching dozens of meters drive into the seabed, raising new pillars for domes. Swarms of underwater drones sweep through the currents like flocks of metal birds, scanning every crack, every fragile seam. Artificial intelligence links to every system, controlling heat, light, pressure, like an invisible brain. Stretched across the entire city. And then, bold explorers venture deeper still. Down to the Mariana Trench, into the endless chasms where light has never reached. There, they hope to uncover new sources of power. Volcanic vents, spilling endless heat. Colossal currents, spinning like eternal turbines. Some even dream of pulling hydrogen from seawater, turning the ocean itself into humanity's infinite fuel. New cities no longer cling to the shallows, but push into the blackened deep, shimmering like glass fortresses, illuminating entire swaths of darkness. But with every step forward, one question lingers. Does technology truly make the ocean our home? Or does it simply carry us deeper, into a world humanity was never meant to claim? The ocean, once so distant, has become humanity's second home. Cities glowing beneath the waves stand as monuments to our brilliance and our boundless ambition. We learn to breathe underwater, to build, to carve out a life where once there was only darkness. And yet, one question lingers, unanswered. Do we truly belong here? Or are we only borrowing space from the sea? We raise domes, light artificial suns, plant kelp forests and farm fish in glass cages. But in the end, it is all just a fragile shell against the raw power of the deep. Perhaps the ocean was never meant to be home in the way we imagine. It is a challenge, a mirror, forcing us to see ourselves more clearly, to realize how far we can go when driven by desire, to witness how much we can create when life itself is pressed to the edge. Above all, this story is not only about where we live, but how we choose to live together. On land or beneath the sea, we remain one humanity, sharing the same blue planet. Perhaps the true question is not whether we can conquer the ocean, but whether we can learn to live in harmony with it. And the future remains unwritten. One day, the deep might become our eternal home. Or perhaps it will always remain a dream of land-born beings, gazing into the abyss with a longing that never fades.